As a medium, we give the information exactly how spirit gives it to us. We've never met the person in spirit. We don't know the relationship between the client. So if we try and interpret that without the communication with spirit and fill in the blanks for ourselves, we're going to get it wrong because we just don't have the background. So our job is to give it exactly how we get it. The client also, so you as a client, have also a responsibility to be able to validate if it makes sense or not. Because when that happens, what's allowed for the medium is that they can go in deeper and get the rest of the story that is associated with that piece of evidence. Because it's not just about bringing in the evidence, it's about bringing in why that piece of evidence is so important to spirit. Because of all the things they could mention, they mention that. So it's not just because they want to, there's something bigger behind that. So we need to understand if it makes sense. And then when we get that, then we need to be able to go back to spirit and say, why did you share that? How is important? What's the other links to it? And how can the client actually use this additional information? It's about a 4 or 5 step process to be able to deep dive into a piece of evidence. But it goes awry if the client doesn't validate. And the validation doesn't have to be yes, it can be I don't understand, and we go back and get more information. Or I need clarity on something. It can be that, but we need to either know yes or no. Are we finding the right words that resonates? So we can allow the conversation to continue. So let me share an example where a beautiful client missed out on a deep dive of information because of her own belief system and how she was showing up in the reading. So this reading had progressed. We were well into it, and Spirit had shown me it was circle, it was silver. So I was describing what I was seeing because they were showing me what they were seeing. They were showing me something. So I was seeing it. So it was circle, it was silver, and it was metallic. So I knew it was metal. It wasn't like silver plastic. So I knew it was metal because I could see around the edge of it, there was some kind of engraving, some kind of marking around it. And I could also see that the color of that marking was a little bit different, a little bit like when something is engraved and it gets a little bit older and it's not as shiny silver, it kind of goes a little bit dark, like a little bit of a black. So I could see this. And I expressed this to her and she had no idea what I was talking about. I also said to her that it's like a medallion. So I knew it was like a medallion, but it wasn't a medallion. And I could see it was on a chain. So I said, it's like a medallion, but it's on a chain and it's been worn like a pendant. She said she had no idea what I was talking about at all. Now, I do know that psychomnesia is a thing because clients get overwhelmed, their nervous system gets triggered, and they don't remember things. Anyway, I clarified with Spirit, did I have all the information did I describe it? Am I seeing it properly? They said yes. So I had to leave it with her. I said, look, I don't know what it is, but all I know is it's silver, it's round, it's actually made of metal, showed her how big it was, that it's on a chain. It's like a medallion, but it's not a medallion, and it's not a pendant, but it's been worn like a pendant. This is what I said to her. She said, no idea. I said, well, let's move on because otherwise, if we don't move on when a client says no, what happens is it shuts down the medium and then the reading kind of stumbles. And I didn't want that to happen. So anyway, we fast forward, we're at the end of the reading. And then she says to me, she said, oh, I didn't want to say anything in the reading when you were doing it. And she said, but I had this tucked in my shirt, hidden so you couldn't see it. And I'm like, why would you do that? She pulled it out, and what it was, so it was circle. On one side, it was silver. It was engraved with the name, and on the other side, it was enamel, and it was worn as a pendant. And what it was the actual dog tag of her dog that had recently passed, that was in spirit, which we had already connected with, and could see and could determine where that dog was. So sadly for that client, she missed the rest of the story that would have been available through that piece of evidence from her beloved dog that she was missing desperately because she chose not to validate it. So if you are in a space where you are having a reading, validate if you understand. If you don't understand, ask that you need more information, you need more clarity, because what's happening is you're missing out on valuable connection to spirit by holding things back. My name is Bronwyn Jane. I'm a psychic medium and spiritual coach.